Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Live Beyond Average podcast. Here with my friend Dustin Luebke. Dustin came over today. We're actually planning a hunting trip together. We both drew some tags down in New Mexico for a February hunt. And we were sitting down just doing a little bit of planning and talking about our travel down there, kind of prepping. And before we know it, we were talking for an hour and a half about stuff. And kind of led into a few ideas, and we're like, hey, why don't we sit down? We should have been recording that whole conversation.
Yep.
Probably would have been a little bit more raw.
Yeah.
But we wanted to actually get some of those conversations that we just had and get them on film, get them on audio, because it's some quality stuff, I think.
Yeah, get your guys' feedback too, and some of your thoughts and what you guys do.
Yeah.
We're just talking about travel versus, first off, what do you do when you're traveling, when you're going down the road, whether it be just to grandma's house or out on a trip or family vacation? What's your snacks? What's your go-to snacks?
Yeah, dude. A couple years, this changes. It changes every year because I burn myself out on snacks. First couple seasons of Run to Gun, it was like Rockstar energy drinks and Pop-Tarts, man. Like, it's so bad. I was also like 6 years younger. I could get away with all that.
Right.
Man, now I really lean on, like, I use an oat protein mix combination. So I'm still getting in like a good quality carbohydrate when I'm traveling. And so I take that with me for emergencies. But I honestly just try to make it a point to stop and grab something quality to eat, like grab a chicken breast, grab a burger, a low-fat burger, something that's not crazy greasy, and actually try to get a decent meal, because like you can stop at a Chili's or something like that almost anywhere and get like a bed of rice, a chicken breast, and some broccoli, and do it in 30 minutes.
Yeah, I agree. I'm a big snacker when I travel, so I like the fruit and nut mix.
Oh yeah.
Trail mix.
Yep.
I've always got trail mix in my center console if anybody's ever ridden with me.
Yep.
There's always a bag of mountain trail mix or whatever kind of trail mixes in there.
Gotta get those M&Ms.
Yeah. If my girls don't get in there and get them all tunneled out first. I'm like, oh, good. I don't get any M&Ms.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then I like Twizzlers and sunflower seeds.
Killing a guy over here.
That's my go-to. And then, I've started packing more of my lunches. Like, I'll throw a sandwich in.
Yeah, yep.
And I'm like, when you're getting 2 hours down the road, like, I should probably eat that now.
Yep.
Versus I used to stop a lot, just like, I just want to get on the road and I want to beat feet to wherever I'm going. Mm-hmm. And then you're looking at the signs for what's coming up, and then, I can grab a value meal from X, Y, or Z, and you slug that down, and 20 miles down the road, you're like, oh my, just gut bomb.
Yeah.
And that's the same way with eating, like, junk food. If you snack on junk food all the way out there, if you go salty, sweet, all the way out there.
We've all done it. Yeah.
And then pound some pop or, that, and then you get that gut rot, and it makes for a long trip then.
It does, especially if it's thrown off your normal eating routine. If it's what you're always eating and you're used to it, no big deal. But I think a lot of us are probably trying to focus a little bit better than that now. So that being said, nutritional value aside, not going to worry about it. What's your go-to junk food? Favorite thing if you got to pick one thing at the gas station to grab? What are you grabbing, man?
Snickers Take Two.
Snickers Take Two. That's a good choice.
Yep.
That's a good choice.
Because you don't really need the second one, but you're going to eat it anyway because there's two.
Dude, that's pretty solid. That's pretty solid. This last year, man, if I was going to get a treat, I would go with that new, like, the Reese's peanut butter cup that has the Reese's M&Ms inside of it. Those, like, the Reese's Inception bars, man. Oh, my gosh. I don't know what it is. I've never been a Reese's guy in my life. My wife brought one of those home one day, and she gave one of the cups to me, and I was like, what is this?
Oh, my new favorite candy.
And yeah, exactly. Like, absolutely. And usually I'm not a sweet guy. I'd rather go with like a bag of Doritos or a bag of like Cheetos. Like, I'd rather go salty route. Mm-hmm. But
I like the stuff that lasts longer too. If I can sit and snack on a bag of chips, like not a big bag because you can eat the whole thing if you're not paying attention.
Yeah.
If you're just going down the road and just monotonous.
Yeah, that's the funnest thing. I agree.
Yeah, no.
That's why I like the Cheetos.
Yeah,
the Cheetos seem like they're smaller and they last forever. Now remember, this is a nutritional value set aside segment. I'm not saying we should eat this crap.
Yeah,
it's just like
kettle chips are right there too because
Yeah.
they're crunchy. Take a little bit longer to eat.
For sure.
You can just smash that whole bag and eat one crumb at a time if you want to.
Yeah, yeah. I tell you what, though, I've learned over the years now, though, to clean it up when I travel. I feel so much better.
Oh, yeah.
Hunting or non-hunting, especially this last year and a half, I've really cleaned it up a ton when I'm traveling. I focused on my water intake. I'll still do a sugar-free energy drink or something here or there if I'm getting tired. But for the most part, dude, I'm pretty proud of just working on cleaning it up, stopping somewhere and eating something good and healthy, getting my protein, carb, and fat and what I need, the intake. And I do the same thing you do. Like, I throw my sandwich food in my little big frig that I take, my little 15, 20 quart, and I always have that there for my snacks. So
same thing with my water. I'll fill that sucker with ice, and then I can just dump warm water into it. You know, I don't have to bring a big cooler. I can just bring
that's a good idea.
Some extra jugs of water, and then just keep dumping in there, and that ice stays in there for the whole trip.
Yeah.
So you always have cold water. And then sipping on that too is a lot easier than stopping and getting, a pop or something. And then it goes back to the same thing. You know, if you start drinking a bunch of pop and a bunch of different kinds of energy drinks that are full of sugar, then you're just doing this the whole time. Then you're chasing that sugar rush.
Right. Yeah, and all you're doing is it's making you eat more crap. You know, you're getting that insulin spike, and then you're getting a low, and then you're just chasing it, man.
Yeah. No, so I do a lot of water, and then bring some sort of, usually a mixed energy drink that's not have a ton of sugar and but not a pre-workout that'll bounce you off the walls.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. How about like day or night? If you're going New Mexico.
Yep.
Would you rather take off early morning, drive throughout the whole day so that you can see stuff, or just go drive through the night?
Dude, I do like driving in the night. Unfortunately, the way the New Mexico hours lay for us here in South Dakota, and usually the hunting days, you're leaving anyway early morning, and so you have to drive through the day. But man, I do love, like, on days where I know it's like, if I can get there over the night kind of thing, I don't mind it. I kind of like doing that, and I feel like I'm just saving some time at home. And so if the opportunity is there where it's like that 8-hour drive or something like that, I don't mind doing it that way. I just have to adjust my sleep a little bit that day, get a nap in. But yeah, I feel like New Mexico, a lot of times when we're heading down in that southern area, it's like you're likely maybe staying somewhere overnight, possibly, or you're going to be leaving out at that 3:30, 4 a.m., and you're going until midnight to hammer all that out. So
yeah. No, I like going in the daytime, looking at stuff. I'm a outside left right looky-loo.
Yeah.
And I love looking for animals, and my wife gives me grief all the time. She's like, it's a cow. I'm like, yeah, but look at them. There's little baby cows out there. Look at girls, there's cows.
Yeah, exactly. And, my daughter's the same way. It's like every pony, we're pointing out the ponies.
Yeah, like, oh, look at those little calves out there. Any wild animal, I'm definitely pointing out to them.
Of course.
And then they'll do it back to me, and she's just like, oh, you got them hooked now. But no, that passes the time a lot more for me. But
agreed.
I like to leave early in the morning. I want to get there as soon as I can.
Yep.
I don't want to get there at 10, 11, 12 at night if you have to hunt the next morning.
It does make it extremely hard, especially when you're trying to like get your pack organized. And it's like, because especially if it's something where you are packing out somewhere, like we'll go to New Mexico and you're going to put in a bunch of miles the next morning. It does suck strolling in late. There's nothing fun about that, getting your pack organized and then getting up in 5 hours or less.
Yeah,
and going out.
When you pack in your vehicle to leave to travel somewhere, it's like packed, like you got to get that in there nice and organized so everything fits nice. But then once you get there, the stuff that you need in the order that it is, you probably didn't pack it in that order. So it's, everything's coming out and everything's got to get through that. So it's nice to have some daylight too to do that in.
Yeah.
So
Dude, I hear you, man. It's like I wish you could always plan every trip out where you could plan the exact hours you want to go.
So like hours between stops. Are you try and go 2 hours and then stop, 3 hours and stop?
Yeah, dude. Like I guess for me, I like go by the fuel gauge. So I'm like always just like I go as far as I can on that fuel gauge unless I have to go to the bathroom. Which obviously gets in the way. Sometimes you're stopping sooner than I'd like. But I try to like roll through a tank of gas and then, which is roughly that 4 hours in the truck and then grab a bite to eat, grab a little something, restock the whatever you need to drink and back in. I don't know. That's kind of how I roll anyway.
Yeah, I'm pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Last couple of years I was dealing with a lot of like leg cramps and cramping issues.
Okay.
So if I sat too long, my legs would start to get tight and then I'd have to get out and stretch. But that again, you gotta stay hydrated, and that helps with that too. But then you're stopping to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
But the same thing. If I'm only going somewhere that's like 3 hours away.
Oh yeah, I'm
or
not stopping.
Sending the mail.
Yep.
But if it's that little bit longer distance, barring you don't have your kids with you or anything like that, because then that can all change.
Yeah, you're stopping every hour or two.
Probably. Oh yeah. Every rest stop, somebody else has to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, never times out to be all at once for sure.
Right.
Can't get that lucky.
Yeah, or 20 miles down the road right when you start.
Yeah.
No, I'd like to push it too. Just keep driving as long as...
Get in the zone, dude.
Yeah, if you're in a good groove and you're just focused on going and you're not tired, or you got somebody to talk to and you're just having good conversation,
right?
You can blow through 4 hours and...
Dude, remember that one time me and you picked up, you like texted me the night before and you're like, hey, I'm looking at this bourbon out in Rapid City. You're like, I really don't want to, like, I need somebody to drive one back. Like, you want to swing out in the morning? And I was like, yeah, dude.
I'm not doing anything.
Yeah, we took off at like, 5 a.m. from Sioux Falls or Harrisburg and like got out to Rapid. And dude, I remember that just being like a blink of an eye because we were just like hanging out chatting. I'm like, dude, yeah, we just put in 6.5 hours. And here we are eating breakfast in Rapid.
Yeah,
and,
we were there way earlier than what the
guy wanted to meet up.
Yeah, he wasn't even going to be there yet.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
And then the way back sucked because we were both in separate vehicles. The way up was awesome because we were just chatting away, hanging out.
Yeah.
Being dudes. But yeah, dude, it's like I like to push it, but anymore it's kind of like, yeah, if you're trying to stay hydrated, like you're pulling off on the side of the road quick, which is good because like really... you should be getting blood flow every 2 hours anyway. Like you should, even if it's for like 90 seconds on the side of the road, like walking around your truck twice, really like health wise and like less risk of a blood clot, you really should be moving. It's probably not the smartest thing for us to drive 4, 5, 6 hours in stints. It's like we're young enough, we can go, we can haul, but it's actually, you shouldn't do it.
Yeah. That leads into, what are you listening to during that? Like tunes or podcasts? Because I remember I was coming home from one of my friends' dad's funerals, and I got into this podcast, and I had to pee, but the podcast was so good, and I'm like, I'm not stopping right now. I'm going to go through this whole podcast. I'm like, it is an hour and a half long, but I got into that one, and I was like, no, I'm locked in. I'm going to finish this out.
Dude, definitely what you're listening to sets the tone and zones you for a trip. I am big on setting the tone at the start. Like, you got to have the right tune for the right feel. Like, I love having my brother with me for this kind of stuff when we're going on longer trips. Even like when we're driving to our hunting spot that's 40 minutes away where we do a lot of our hunting, I'm like, he's always like for the morning specific stuff. Like we have like our little hunting jam or like a good luck tune or whatever it is.
Yeah, DJ Matthew.
It just sets that tone. And so I'm big on like music out of the gate, like cranking it, going. It doesn't matter if it's like some days it's country, it's like the highway on XM. Yeah. Some days it's like thug rap, man. I'm digging it out, like some old school 90s stuff.
Yeah.
It doesn't really, I'm not too worried about genre versus just like tone of the mood.
Mm-hmm.
Getting it cranked up a little bit, getting pumped up. As I get, an hour and a half in, usually I'm like, all right, let's switch over to podcasts for a while.
Yeah.
I'll burn a couple hours on podcasts, and then it's back to music. I like to kind of jump back and forth.
Yeah. Yeah, because I tried doing like a 5 hours straight of podcasts,
Yeah.
and then I was just like, okay, that's all starting to sound
Yep.
the same, and I'm zoning out. So yeah.
You ever zone out when you're even listening to the podcast, where all of a sudden you get somewhere and you're like, oh, I don't think I listened to the last 20 minutes of that, because you're like in your own thoughts so hard, because something in that podcast triggers like a thought, and then you get in your own thoughts hard, and you realize like, and you get the back of your podcast, I'm like, where was I at? Like you realize you burned 20 minutes, you don't even realize it.
Yeah.
I do that all the time.
Yep. And then, the thing too with, I guess like XM is different, but our podcasts, you can get them anywhere.
Yeah.
Like it, especially when we go back to where our families are from, you change radio stations about every 30 miles because it starts getting fuzzy.
Oh, yeah,
so then you're
exactly
hitting the seek and the search button, and if you go out of state somewhere and you're not real confident in all the radio stations, it's like, oh, just keep switching.
Dude, they suckered me into XM when I got my truck, and they gave me the free year. When did I get that? Like 2014. I've had XM since 2014. Never thought, I said I'd never pay for that. Yeah, I've had XM since, I've been paying for XM since 2015. I guess when I switched trucks, I got like 6 months with the second truck or something, but basically paid for it since then. Once you start that, it's enjoyable. You find the stations you like. Yep. I love it, man. Some people I know don't like it that much. They'd rather just rock the Spotify or whatever, but I don't know. I really like my XM. I'm a fan. I'm a fan. I listen to a lot of highway. Listen to like my 4 stations on my touchscreen. So you get a program 4 up there. My 4 stations are the hits, like station 2, which is just like your new hits, and obviously like it's the same 25 songs. So you gotta. It's like you're there for 25, 30 minutes and you're moving on.
Yeah.
And then I got 12 from my other one, which is like a New York, just like. It's kind of like the same hit station, but I feel like they do a little bit better job of cycling songs than the hit station too. And then I got the Highway 56, strategically placed because I can easily just dial up or down to like the other country station or 2. Sure. And then I got 63, The Message, which is like your awesome contemporary new Christian music, which is, dude, I love it. Like I start most of my mornings, like when I'm driving into work into town or something, I'm hitting The Message, like get my first 30 minutes a day right there. Yes. Get me in the right mode, get my mindset right. Okay, so do you have XM?
I do not have XM.
So I can't even ask you what are your 4 favorite stations.
No.
But if I was going to ask somebody else, I'd want to know, like, that's going to be a question somewhere along the line where I'm asking somebody, like, you have XM? Yep. Okay, what are your 4? Like,
yeah, I just refuse to pay for radio if I can touch a button, so that's just my thing.
I know. Dude, I was you until they gave me the free XM,
I know,
and now I'm not you. Now I'm me.
Not getting sucked in.
You will one day.
No.
Oh, you will. So we're not taking your burb to New Mexico then. I gotta have I want that bird for all the room though.
Yeah.
But I want my XM. We're gonna be in limbo. I'm not podcasting it the whole way down there.
Yeah, it'd be long.
Like
it'd be a long
20 hours of podcast.
Yep.
We might be taking the truck.
Either or.
Might be taking the truck.
The back seats in the Suburban do recline a little bit though.
Time
so
it would be so nice.
I think whoever.
We're gonna buy 1 month of XM in your vehicle, and
okay.
I'll buy it. I like my XM. All right, I'm buying 1 month. If we take the burb, buy a single month of XM. All right, we got this figured out. We're good.
Perfect.
We're good.
Trip days. Like, what's your optimal trip time?
Yeah.
So let's just say, Western mule deer hunt, just to be
example.
Easy.
Yep. Dude, I would always, in the past, I'd like train clients, do stuff, work till Thursday night. I would probably take Friday off, take off. Always have that weekend, Monday probably, kind of thing. Now that I'm fully self-employed, depending on what my client schedule is like, obviously I'm still going to try to get in as much sessions as I can with them, but it probably will make a little less of a difference maybe. I'd just be utilizing what days I feel fit are going to be the best hunting days, but like typically always taking off Thursday night. Like I love taking off Thursday night. It's kind of my thing, and then I have Friday. If the hunting season is open, at least I always have Friday where there might not be as many guys out.
Yes.
Or if it's before the season, I feel like at least I get another day of extra scouting in or something. So I always like to have that Friday. I like Mondays too.
Yeah.
I ideally like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays.
I'm a midweek guy.
I love my midweek. So if I can hunt midweek, I'm always hunting midweek.
That's the
nice
thing with my schedule.
Yes,
exactly. I've got 4 day off in a row stretch with the fire department, and I'll go home, help get the girls ready for school, get them off to school, and then I'll, get the stuff done around the house and take off usually around, before noon. Yeah. That way I can get out and I can do some scouting that night, kind of pick my spot for the morning. And then I like to get like 3 good mornings in. Yeah. I have better luck in the mornings.
Same.
When you can find something and then bed it down and then go after it. Or in the evenings, I just don't have as good luck with that.
Yeah.
But then, you're there for that half day, then 2 full days, and then just 1 morning. And then once that morning hunt's done, then I beat feet for home and then try and get home, before my girls get out of school.
Well, and what a great strategy that is behind it, too, because then when your wife asks you, hey, how many days are you gone? I'm gone 2 days. Because, if you're leaving on a Monday afternoon, after they go to school, you were home. You're only gone Tuesday, Wednesday, and I'm back Thursday, so I'm only gone 2 days versus it's like you're getting technically a 4-day hunt,
Yep.
But you're only gone 2 days. Secret, guys, use it. That's a pro tip. If I was a pro at anything, that would be a pro tip.
Yep. Yeah, it does help. They do appreciate that little extra time in there, because if you leave straight from work, go out hunting, gone for 4 days after I've been gone for that 24-hour shift, come back late that 4th night, and then just to go back to work, that's 6 days I'm gone.
My wives don't listen to this, right?
That's not gonna fly. Whoa.
I don't think my wife does. So as long as your wife doesn't, we're good.
We'll see now.
Yeah. It's hilarious.
No.
It's a great point though.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things I've learned probably over the past couple of years is definitely trying to equalize time with family, and not pushing it so hard that you get so focused on I gotta hunt, and putting the family and everything in the back burner.
Because let's be real, that is our mindset, and I think it's a lot of guys' mindset is like that season rolls around, and it's hard not to just be all in.
Yeah.
And it's hard not to be all in before the season and a little bit after the season, because tag applications, it consumes a lot of time. Mm-hmm. And I've lucky enough that when I was in my early days, I actually met a guy who, like, the outdoor industry caused him a divorce. Mm-hmm. And like he got remarried and stuff, figured it all out. But like hearing that story really helped get some perception for myself that, okay, like you need to still focus on stuff that's truly important. Even though my passion is this, there's still things that are more important. And it doesn't mean that there's not struggles still or whatever.
Yeah.
But it does make you work harder at balancing. And I've had my seasons, I think it was either season 3 or season 4, it was actually probably season 4, where, dude, we hunted North Dakota, South Dakota, Montana, Colorado, Alaska, and New Mexico, all in a 3-month span. So 6 states in 3 months. And, like, it was way too much. And, like, I even knew it myself. Like, after, like, hunting trip number 3, I was like, oh, what did I do? Like, I knew right away, like, okay, like, like, I'm pissed at myself for scheduling that, And so part of it's just actually learning from mistakes, owning up to it, and figuring it out, man. Like you gotta just work hard at keeping. It's not a one person relationship, you know.
And especially once you start throwing kids in there too. I mean, your wife is super important. More important than kids, guys. But once you start getting that in there, your wife needs help with kids. You can't just be gone. And then the same goes for just whitetail hunting around here. You can't get off work and just go out to the stand every night,
right? And
not be home at all,
right? Or
be gone at your cabin or whatever where you hunt for every day off that you have.
Right. Is there anything you do like before or after hunting trips that you're gone a little extra, or after hunting season, before hunting season? Anything you do with your wife or kids or anything to just help ease the whole aspect of it?
We try and do some vacations, some obviously family vacations, but kind of after the season, the past few years we've done some like warm weather vacation. We went down to Florida,
nice, as
a family, and just kind of relax. We didn't plan a whole lot, didn't do any like the Disney stuff.
Sure,
just did the beach, relaxed, and that was a huge help.
Nice.
And then through the season, if there's days where like you're not going to be hunting, or it's kind of a lull where you're not doing stuff, I definitely try and find some some sort of family stuff to do.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, I feel bad. I don't, you're trying to devote so much time because you've got one picture of one deer.
Right.
That you're forgetting about what's important too to your family.
Yeah.
So I'll just ask them what they want to do.
Yep. Dude, that's perfect, man. Like, I think what I did this year for the first time, I think worked really good. I'm gonna do it every year. Is like, so I had all my hunts planned out, but the archery deer here in South Dakota, it's like, well, I could still hunt any days in between here for the entire September through December because it's open.
Mm-hmm.
But I literally was like, had these dates, and then I had a couple dates in late September, early October, where I had I was in between my main big hunts and another one in October, and I was like, no matter what, if I have my archery deer tag filled or not, I'm not hunting that week. Mm-hmm. And there was 2 consecutive weeks and another one, so I had 3 weeks actually booked off, which I'm like, 3 whole weeks during this time of year, that's a lot. I mean, they were broken up, mm-hmm. but I booked them off that I was not leaving home. Mm-hmm. And dude, it was good. Like, for me, actually, just mental break too, but just being home, it made, I think, our season so much smoother this year. Yeah. And so that's something I'm going to be doing every year now, I think, is how I line things up. Like, sweet, no matter what, if I have that archery day, and I know it's going to be hard on years that I don't film. I've filmed in September the last several years, and there's going to be a year here coming up. I know it might not happen that way, but guess what? Like, I'm going to have to suck it up and just stay home. Because there's just, it's just better. I've just learned, dude. It's just better.
And I think I enjoy the hunt more when I go for 3 or 4 days where mm-hmm. I can just focus on that hunt.
Yeah.
I'm not focused on, okay, I can get out to the tree stand, I can hunt. If I get out there by 3, I'm out there.
Sure.
I'll be back in at 9, and then I'm going to come back out in the morning if I can get a little time off from work.
Yep.
So you're cramming everything in, where if I just kind of push that aside and don't do that as much, and then just do a 3-day or 2-day or 4-day, whatever it is, maybe hunt, you can just focus on that. And now with FaceTime too, it happened last year. One of my girls was being a little butthead to the other one.
Sure.
And I got a FaceTime call and had to give him the dad look and the dad talk.
Spanking over the phone.
Yeah, right on the wall over the phone.
Yeah, dude. I love it.
That's nice too. And you can talk to him too. I mean, you're communicating with them.
Exactly. FaceTime's legit, man. I love that. Helps so much when you're gone. Mm-hmm. So, let's finish up with this. What podcast are you listening to when you travel? What's your podcast besides the Live Beyond Average podcast?
Yeah. I like some of the meat eater stuff.
I've never listened to it. Is it pretty good?
Yep, that's really good. They kind of have a really good array.
Okay.
Muley Freak guys have some good stuff. Okay. And then once I get in that era, it pops up
as you're making suggestions for you.
Yep, it starts making suggestions and similar podcasts, and then I'll squirrel off and mm-hmm. some random thing.
Right.
I try and stay away from the ones who are heavily sponsored.
Yep.
Because it's nonstop whatever they're sponsored by, and it's just okay, I'm not.
You got to find that balance because I get it. You got to make a living. It's their way, it's their income, but smooth it out.
Right.
Make it less forced. Make it a little less forced. Dude, I'm not gonna lie. I don't listen to much of it. My variety. I want to listen to more. I should listen to more outdoor stuff, but I just, I'm so I want to be myself. I'm scared to. I don't want to be influenced from other pathways. So I haven't dove into that yet. I probably should. I randomly heard one from old Randy Newberg popped up on my deal one day.
Oh, yeah.
And I listened to one episode with him and another guy, and I did enjoy it. So I'll admit I've listened to one outdoor podcast, and literally it was one episode. I should probably delve into that a little bit just to get to know some guys a little bit more. I do listen to some old Joe Rogan just because I get a kick out of it. There's some just people on there I like to see what their minds are, man. I like to see what they're kicking out. So I'll listen to a little Joe. That's kind of the main one I'll listen to here and there, and then a lot of music. So
yeah, if the other thing too is it's not all hunting, I'll listen to. There's some good motivational stuff on there mm-hmm. if I need some pick me up, and then also we can listen to our sermons on there from church. So if I'm gone that Sunday, I can listen to a sermon or somebody, some faith based something that gets you Kind of gets you burning again.
At least when you're away and you're not hitting that Sunday church, you can at least be there without being there, and not be behind. I have listened. I shouldn't say I haven't listened to not all outdoor podcasts. My buddy has a podcast called Activate the Hunt that I've listened to. He has a couple. He's getting started with it, and he's got a couple good episodes out there. So I've listened to a few of his. But it's not all hunting. It's like getting hunters introduced to hunting and stuff, and some teaching and stuff. So it's a pretty cool podcast, actually. But yeah, other than that, not too crazy. So that's actually kind of the question I want some feedback on from you guys. What's your podcast, your go-to podcast, or couple that you have that you love to listen to? I'd love to get that feedback, because maybe it's something we want to hear. You heard a couple other questions as we were going, so I want to know what your go-to snack is. So what's your podcast or listening to music, and what's your go-to snack?
Healthy or unhealthy?
Healthy, unhealthy, we're not going to judge you. We gave you our dirty little secret snacks that we like to go with when we're traveling. So let's make this fun. We're really looking forward to hearing from you, and we appreciate you listening, sharing our podcast. We're getting consistent growth month to month here. We're really excited. It's because of you guys listening and sharing it with your friends. So if you haven't shared it with your friends, please do. Let them know what you're enjoying, and shoot us a rating or a review on Apple or whatever podcast you're listening to. It really helps us out. We'll talk to you soon.